Hey Siri, start a walk.
I'm listening.
Start a walk.
Starting your workout in workout.
She's a little slow this morning. Like me, I guess. Alright, so yeah. Good morning. I think I'm gonna try doing this in the mornings. Of course, last night was a complete disaster. Ay, 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 ay. You get run over by the freaking road. All the traffic. Oh yeah. I forgot to put on my gloves. Can I do that while recording? This this is really great content. This is good content. Oh yeah. Not sure. Not sure what I hope to accomplish here. Maybe nobody will watch these. This is fine, I guess. Maybe I'm just hoping to get something a little more productive out of my morning walk. I'm usually I don't want to start the morning like really consuming media, like right out the gate. So I don't want to I don't want to read the news or listen to an audiobook or watch YouTube videos while I walk. So maybe if I could try and do something that's producing something, I'll feel like it'll be you know more productive. I guess that's by definition that's more productive. But yeah, I yeah, last night's video was terrible. Obviously that was the first one. I don't plan on doing much, if any, editing because I don't know. I guess unless you got a really specific vision for what you want with like a video or something, then it's kind of like it's really time consuming. I mean, it's time consuming. You got to spend all this time fiddling with the software. You got to learn how to do the software, and you got to. There's all sorts of tricks and stuff, and like it's like a whole job in itself that you got to learn to do. And I don't know. I feel like just getting the video recorded is like 80% of the value, right? I don't know if you ever, there's like the 80-20 rule, right? Where you try to do, where you get like most of the results of just, it's also like the Pareto principle, where most of the results come from, a minority of the inputs. So an example would be like, I don't know, 20% of the rivers have like 80% of the volume of water or something like that, or 20% of the people have 80% of the wealth, and you know that could be viewed as like especially like the wealth thing. That could be viewed as like inequality and stuff, but it's also just like a mathematical principle, and that doesn't mean that it's never changing or whatever. It just means that you have to be very thoughtful about how you try to overcome something like that, because there's some sort of principle at play that's delivering that 80-20 distribution or whatever. And if you don't address that cause, then you're never going to get the result you're looking for. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, the video, unedited, is like the 80-20 rule. This is my justification, ad hoc justification for shitty videos that you're watching right now. So, so yeah, we'll just do. I don't know. Just see where it goes. Like I said, I don't know where this is going. If this is something that I'll value in the long term. Obviously, the fact that I'm putting these out fairly raw, well, almost completely raw. There's no take. There's no takes. There's one take, obviously. I'm not doing multiple walks a day trying to get the perfect take or anything. Sometimes when I would do videos before, I would do multiple takes of the video just to avoid, and I wouldn't really do any editing. I'd just try to get everything done in one take, and that way I don't have to fiddle with the editor. I don't have to wait for the editing software to render everything and put everything together, so it just makes everything simpler. But anyway, if I'm just putting these out there, then it'll tell me if there's something of value that I want to keep doing, and if it's worth putting a little bit more time into. Let's say I do this, every day for a month, and then I say, oh hey, I kind of like this. Maybe I'll spend like an extra. These walks are going to take about half an hour, and it's probably going to take about another half hour to get like the blog posts and the social media shares and things, like all the settings set on YouTube for the uploads and everything. So that's probably another 30 minutes all there. So that's an hour combined. And then, like, if I feel like it's justified, at some point I might start doing some edits, cutting some things around and seeing if it, maybe I spend another 30 minutes or an hour just trying to justify the timing. But I just I feel like I want to create something in some way, shape, or form. Like we were talking about last night, like I feel like it's not so much the videography. It's not just the photography or videography or anything. I feel like I want another creative outlet, and the fact that I feel motivated to do this without honestly very much profiting kind of tells me that this is something that I should be doing, and we'll see where it goes from there. But like the drawing thing I was talking about last night, that was a chore to get through. I did it a couple times, and it was kind of nice, but it's also frustrating, and like I'm not very good at it. But I didn't really enjoy it like in the long term. Like after a month or two of doing it pretty much every day, only for like 5 or 10 minutes, I just didn't feel like it got to where it would come around that time of the night where I'd have to draw, and I'm like, but I really didn't want to do it. I didn't have that innate motivation, and some of that kind of gets into, I guess, what's going to be the topic today is habits, and routines and stuff like that. Part of it is you just got to do the thing, right? And eventually eventually you either get good enough, because it's a lot of times you don't want to do something is because you suck at it, right? Like I suck at drawing, and so I didn't feel rewarded when I would do it. I'd look at it and I'd see, I think it's Hourglass has this quote. I don't know if I remember to do so. I'll put the quote, but there's like this quote from Hourglass. Actually, it's like a video clip or something. I don't know. He's talking, and it's like a writer. If you don't know who he is, NPR or something or other. Anyway, he has this quote that the I'm going to paraphrase it, and I'm just going to destroy it. But the idea that he was putting across was like the reason why it's so hard to get started doing anything creative, especially, and by get started I mean like be an amateur and move into like I don't know, something intermediate or master level skill, is like you got into doing the thing that you're doing because you have you've invested in that medium, to some proportionality, that you have a particular taste, a quality that you kind of expect, and then whenever you go to make your own, that you are acutely aware that your output is nowhere near what you would consider acceptable for your own taste. So like if you're a musician, like if you listen to, say you love, I don't know, heavy metal, and you just love heavy metal, and you know everything there is to know about heavy metal, and you've listened to all the key bands, and I'm like, and you're like, oh well, I want to go and play heavy metal, so you start playing the guitar, and for the first, maybe 6 months or a year or something, it's really a struggle because you learn the basics, and then even after you learn the basics, you start trying to play the songs, and even though you put your fingers on the guitar strings and you could strum in the right pattern, it's just like everything that you do is just nowhere near the level that got you into the musicians that got you into the musicianship that got you into the music in the first place. I'm like, if you loved Eddie Van Halen, or I don't know, BB King, or I guess the modern example would be John Mayer. I love John Mayer's. He's like really one of the only guitar greats there is right now. Like if you've never listened to the dude play, and all you know is his popular music, and you've never actually watched him play, you should do so. I think one time there was like a award ceremony or something. He did his most popular song, but it was all acoustic, and it was just masterful. But anyway, but you tried to if I tried to replicate one of John Mayer's songs, even the simplest song, as I'm playing it, because my skill level is so poor, I'm acutely aware of just like how badly I am playing it. And it's hard to get past that disgust that you have for your own, for your own work. But you have to. You have to just keep producing. So like, I'm doing these videos here, and I watch a lot of YouTube. I have a lot of YouTube videos that YouTube creators that I love watching, and I have a particular taste about how I think a video or whatever should be made or whatnot. Some taste. I don't know like all the technical stuff, obviously, because I've never done it. I haven't done it like to that level yet, but I have some notion of what I like. And so when I put these videos out like last night, I am just like acutely aware of how bad it is. I'm wearing these earphones because I'm already well aware that as much as important as the video is, it's actually more important to have the good audio. You need it's not enough to just use the phone, the mics on the phone or the camera or whatever. You need some dedicated microphone of some sort. And the reason why I'm using this one is because I don't know if you've seen my previous videos. I had this lab mic that I got, but whenever I tried to go record last night, I had to look into it today, but when I tried to go record last night, nothing I could do. I couldn't get the lav mic to work. And it was so my only option was to use this. That's because like it's far better to have this shitty iPod, wherever. I don't know if are these called iPods? Yeah. It's better to have the shitty iPod mic than to use the integrated audio on the phone. And I do have the AirPods, but here's the dumb thing. It doesn't record through your AirPods when you're recording video for some reason. It'll do it with the wired, but it won't do it with the wireless, which would be obviously ideal to use the wireless. That's what it is. So anyway, yeah, the whole thing about I keep doing. So we'll just see where it goes. If the videos are any good, if I feel like it's worth more of an investment in my time to improve the quality, maybe we'll cut these down like jump cuts, and you don't have to listen to my ums and the all the various ticks that make me a person that's not very presentable on YouTube. Then if we get to that point, then great, But obviously that means I'm presumably, if not making any money, people are actually watching, because I'm not going to do it unless I either really love it, I just really love doing it, or some people are actually watching it, and I feel like some measure of responsibility. Yeah. So we'll just have to see where that goes. Oh, we 20 minutes in, 19 minutes in. Yeah. So the topic of today was supposed to be habits. It's something that I never paid conscious attention to until like very, very recently. I guess at some point I like went on this like productivity stint on YouTube or whatever, figuring out how, because have Crohn's and whatever, and it makes me fatigued. And so I have to find ways to work around it. And most of the time, honestly, it just means that I have to take more days off of work, which is not ideal. Because I've had conflicts at work where they're like, hey, we need you. You're not working enough. We need you to work more. And like every time I try to do that, it stresses me the hell out because I'm so tired that I can't get anything done. So I had to figure out how am I going to get more productive with work, get more productive with the rest of the things in my life. There's a lot of stuff in my life that I have some goals, things I want to achieve, but how do I get to those goals? Anyway, so you go down the rabbit hole of productivity, and people can complain about hustle culture and all that jazz and how it's toxic and whatnot. But just trying to find solutions, things to improve my life. And one of the things that I have run across is finding habits that are going to help me achieve whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve. Great book that you'll see recommended everywhere, and I'll recommend it too, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a fantastic book. I wouldn't say any one thing in the book was at least to me, was particularly groundbreaking. Like if you were to really think about the topic, I feel like you would get the result of that would be like 80% of the book. But I think you would have to go through and break it all down for yourself, and that would be a lot to process. But you just read the book, and it's already broken down for you, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, he's clearly already worked through all of this, so it's a really great book. It's an easy read. I can see why, because not every book is an easy read. Sometimes it's a slog, and this is a very easy read. And you kind of just fly through it, and before you know it, you're done. And now you have dozens of tools to help you understand and manage your habits and stuff, both good and bad. Because sometimes habits are good, sometimes they're harmful. Like I used to smoke. It's a habit. Smoked for 10 or 15 years or something or other, and then I quit smoking by doing vapes instead. So it was just kind of like a substitution, right? And that worked for me. I tried a whole bunch of other stuff. I tried the patches and then the gums and the drops and not the drops, the little candies and stuff. I tried everything, and the thing that worked for me was the vapes. And just recently, I think it was, I saw something. So OneDrive is how I back up a lot of my stuff. And saw on OneDrive, it does this it'll kind of like Facebook will remind you of posts that you made years ago or whatever. I saw one of the pictures come up that reminded me that it's been 10 years since I started vaping, and I was like, oh geez, wow, it's been that long. And I don't know, I guess it kind of ate at the back of my mind. I didn't feel like I really wanted to quit vaping, but whenever it came up, I was like, do I really want to be 60, 70 years old vaping? Is that the person that I want to be? Is this really a necessary part of my life? Is it bringing me particular joy? I did like vaping, don't get me wrong. I liked smoking. That was why it was so hard to quit. Was at least I thought I liked smoking, and I liked vaping. It was just it had some nice flavors, and it was somewhat relaxing and stuff. And anyway, but I got to a point where I was like, I don't really want to be 70 years old and still vaping. I don't know, it's not a cool thing to do, Vaping is, I know it's caught on like in a popular culture, but you see, 40-year-old man vaping, like, and I didn't use the little tiny puffers. I used like the Monster Clouds Blow Clouds vapes, the sub-ohm vapes, and it was like huge clouds of smoke. And I did that because it tasted good, not because I needed to see the big clouds. But that was part of the deal, is that I was Mr. Vape guy every time we go out and about. And I don't know, I got really self-conscious about it, and I was like, why don't we just try stopping? And so that's what I did. And so I guess now it's been like a week. I haven't had any. And it's kind of rough. A little rough the first couple of days, but other than that, it's been mostly fine. But that's, getting rid of a negative habit. Sometimes there's another habit you want to do. Like I want to read every day, so I need to put, how am I going to do that? So what I do is I have like this huge board. Almost everything has come at least partially from that James Clear book. I had this huge board. I call it my accountability board, and maybe one day I'll show it. And it's got this huge grid, and it's got a bunch of days of the week and along the top, and it's got a bunch of habits that go along the side. And it's this grid, and you put check marks in there if I did the thing that day or not. And the goal is to try and get all the check marks for that day done. And surprisingly effective. Lots of people do it. It's called habit tracking. And it's just having that. And the key thing is my habit tracker is, at least for me, is right. It's in a public spot of the house. So if I'm sitting on my ass watching TV, I have that habit tracker like staring at me, like right by the TV. So it's hard to ignore it. It's always very visible what my status is. If I'm slacking, then I am very aware that I am slacking and about how much. So I find that it's really motivating for me to see that habit tracker up there. And it's just having the check marks is like an extra bit of intrinsic reward or whatever. Having all the check marks. I am not, anybody who knows me, I am not a organized person. I am not a conscious. So you have the big 5 personality stuff or whatever. The thing that you think of as somebody who's got their shit together is someone who's conscientious. That is the trait that you think of when somebody who's on top of things. They show up on time. They always did all their homework. They made, if they were moderately intelligent, they made good grades in school. That's conscientiousness. And it's what's called conscientiousness. And I am super duper low in conscientiousness. So the fact that I'm doing this and I'm telling you to do it too should be some indication. Maybe it's the fact that I'm super low on conscientiousness is what makes it so effective for me. It's such a big difference. Maybe if you were already had this this accountability running internally, it would be less effective for you. But for me, works super well, and I would recommend it for everybody. So anyway, so so how do you know what to do? So I mentioned that I wanted to. Oh, I don't know if this is going to continue recording. It says 30 minutes. Let's see if it'll keep recording. Let's try to wrap this up. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to continue. We'll have to keep an eye on it. I'm very worried now. We're only doing 720p. Maybe they removed the record limit. Yeah. All right. Yep. So anyway, the habits. What was I doing? Lost my train of thought. Get distracted by the technology. Oh, it's got running themes from day to day. Ay. So the habit tracking works for me, and like how I got to the habits that I'm tracking was like everybody's always. I think the idea is kind of like everybody always has like these goals that they have, like long-term goals. You know, here's your 1-year plan, here's your 5-year plan, and stuff like that. And that's good to have goals, but I think the word is from the book is not use systems, not goals. And so if you do have some goal that you want to work, it's better to have a system that gets you towards that goal than just pie in the cycle. So here like would be an example. Let's say I wanted to one of my goals is I have a section that was like I want to be healthy, I want to be wealthy, I want to be connected, and I want to be creative. So it's like 4 different aspects. And in each one of those categories, I have different things that I'm going to do that reaches me towards that goal. And so like creative, I have several daily habits that go towards the creativity. So there's like, I play D&D, which is kind of like, it's a game, it's recreation, but it's also creative. It's improv, basically. And then I have played my guitar, practicing my guitar, so that's another thing. And that's something that goes on regularly each day. And I have, in my healthy category, I have, I want to be healthy, and it literally says I want to be healthy. And so I have like in big green letters, because I can put an actual number on things. Can't do this with the creative category, but I can say I want to weigh 150 pounds. And how am I going to reach that goal? So I have like mini goals. So I say, okay, so for, what was it, in January, the goal for February, by the time February come around, was to be on 180 pounds or something. And then for next month, it's 175 pounds. And the ultimate goal is to be 150 pounds by July. So it's roughly like 5 pounds a month. I feel like that's an aggressive goal, but I feel like it's an achievable one. And how am I going to do that? Well, I have habits on there. Like I have eat healthy and fasting, and do CrossFit. All of those parts are, I make sure I get 8 hours of sleep each night. So on my habit tracker, I have sleep. I get a check mark if I got 8 hours of sleep and I didn't cut myself short. I get to put a check mark. It's actually one of the early wins for the day, because I nearly always make sure that I get at least 8 hours of sleep. I walk every morning. That's another part of that one, which is what we're doing right now. And then if I didn't eat any junk food, which is easy because I don't keep eating in the house, but if I don't eat any junk food and I'm moderately on plan, I'm like not overeating carbs. The goal is like less than 25 grams a day of carbs, but I don't hold myself strict to that. As long as I'm not, eating Twinkies or anything like that. If I'm eating just the food that's in my house, and the only thing that makes it into my house is reasonably healthy, I don't care. It gets a check mark. As long as I don't go out to to Denny's and order a Grand Slam, we're okay, you know. And then I have CrossFit, so this is another one. If I go to CrossFit, I think I have it scheduled right now. It was 3 days a week. Now it's up to 5 days a week, but I haven't been in a week because I've been slacking. But yeah, so if I do CrossFit that day, I get to put a check mark, and it works. It's effective to me, and I know why I'm doing each one of these things. So like the drawing thing, like it was in my creative category, but I didn't feel like it was really helping me in, you know, I didn't feel creative doing it, you know, which was the whole point. And there was no hard like endpoint. I couldn't say, okay, I want to be 35 creative by the end of the year. What the fuck does that mean? You know, I want to be 47 creativities in 5 years. What is that? You know, there's no, you can't put a number on it. And like, it's hard to have a hard endpoint, an objective endpoint. Like I could try, I think at one point I want like 250 followers or something like on social media. So that might play into it. Maybe I'll have that as a goal that I want. I don't know. We're like at 150 or something across all platforms. Not that I care at all, but that's just something objective that I could put down so that I can remind myself of my progress, right? It's some objective. Maybe it could be views on my blog. Maybe I want 100 views a month on my blog, and then we'll work from there. Who knows? Point is, you have some goal, and then you break it down bit by bit, and then you put something that you're going to be working toward. Your habit is something that you do every day or very frequently, like at least every week or every month or whatever. It's not, whenever I feel like it. It's what's my goal? What is the specific thing that I could do? When am I going to do it? How often? For how long? So like my walk thing, like it's not, I want to be healthy, and then to get healthy, I'm going to walk. When am I going to walk? Well, I'm going to walk every day. It's, as soon as I get up, for at least 10 minutes. So like we've been very specific about what I'm going to do, and now like the walk is automatic. Every morning, I don't even think about it. I'm not even fully awake most of the time, especially before I was making the videos. I ain't even really awake until the end of the walk. Like that was usually my cue to really go inside and start my day in earnest. I would just be kind of awake, and I would be like, oh, okay, well, and it's been like 10 minutes. I'd walk like a third of a mile, half a mile, something like that. And then I would be awake. But I didn't think about it. It's not, I don't really expend any effort to do the walk anymore. It's just part of the thing that I do. I would love to get to a point where I could say that doing CrossFit every day was just the thing that I did, We're not anywhere near that right now. And I don't think we ever will be, because I've got to get on the bike. There's a lot of friction to getting me to CrossFit to do CrossFit. And that's part of what they go over in the book is reducing friction for the things that you want to do, and the things you don't want to do, increase the friction. If you want to read more, well, you got to make time. So, okay, we're going to watch less TV. So how are you going to get rid of the TV watching habit? Well, I don't know. You hide the remote. I don't know. Put it like in the laundry room. It's like way off in the side of the house, and you got to go. You can't just sit on the couch and grab the remote and start watching TV. You got to go get it, and then, or maybe you put your TV in a closet. And if you really want to watch TV, you got to go get it out of the closet, and set it up and do it that way. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but that's one thing that you could do, because you add friction to the thing that you don't want to do, reduce friction things that you do want to do. It's all in the book. The book is great, but I've got this huge matrix of habits. It's probably close to a dozen. It's probably too many, to be honest. But I prune them like once a month. I'll do one thing. So like last month, I removed drawing. I didn't feel like I was getting any value from it, so I removed that one, and then I reworded some other things, and you just slowly find the system that works for you. And I don't know, it's just working for me. As badly, as poorly as I execute on it, I do think I'm doing at least 25%, 50% more than I would if I was just, because I would just go to work, and then as soon as I got done with my work, I would just sit down and watch TV, and then I would go to bed, and then, I was on a loop, I was wasting a lot of time, so I added I practice guitar. I want to socialize more, so there's literally things I have a socialization category. Did I socialize today? And that's, if I do CrossFit, that gets to tick the health thing. That's a health goal. It's also a socialization goal. So if I go to CrossFit every weekday, then I also get to check my socialization thing. So that's called habit stacking, where you do this walk thing where I'm doing the video thing. This will probably the video will probably end up being part of the creative category, and so I'll get to check on my walk. I'll get to check that I walked. I also get to check that that I made a video, that I was creative in some way. Habit stacking. Great book. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Great book. I think I've rambled on. It's nearly over 40 minutes, close to 45 minutes. But yeah, this habits have been very, very useful. I feel like my life is moving in a direction that I'm happy with. Not that I was particularly unhappy before, but especially now that I'm doing things. So I can't 5 years from now, I'm not going to say, well, I should have. The thing is, 5 years from now, assuming that I continue to keep up with the habits, is I did, and either those things that I did were just ineffective, which is fine. I'm going to make mistakes, but at least I did something, right? That I tried something to move the needle. At work, I want to, I want to make more money at work or whatever, but I also don't want to work more hours. That's not it's not a viable thing for me. Health issues aside, I can't, if I want to make twice as much money, I can't work twice as much hours. That's not scalable, right? You want to, you could do it in the short term, but the better term is either make more per hour or try to figure out how to divorce your hourly input from your profit. How much you're bringing in. You got to figure out how to divorce those, and that's how you get rich. You can get rich saving money and stuff, and I do that too. But saving for retirement and stuff, that's a long process. But if you can figure out a way to divorce your hourly input from the amount of money you're making, then that could scale a lot quicker, right? So anyway, that's another book that I'll probably have to talk about at some point. Oh, we're actually indoors, so I can show you the little habit tracker. So you can see all of my habits and stuff, and you see a little bit of each one of my goal sections here at the bottom, and different things on there. I don't know if I should be sharing all this, but that's the habits anyway. But yeah, if it was doing work and figuring out how to get more from work, and so part of that is I have different things on my habits where I'm trying to like build my own business, build websites and web apps and stuff like that, services that I can sell, and also content in the interim that I can put out that I can monetize, like this video or videos and blog content as I build out the application. So there's like show tutorials how to build applications and stuff like that, so I can monetize it that way while I'm building it, and then once I get it built, anyway, who knows if it works, but at least I will have tried, right? And won't know unless you try. So that's the so if I put that in a habit and that's what I'm doing, then I could say that I tried, and it's mentally it's really helpful, just to have at least the little check mark that says, okay, you did at least something that's hopefully that in theory should move the needle, right? And so anyway, we're over 45 minutes, and I don't even know if it records that long, but we'll see. I hope you guys have a lovely day. It is Saturday, February the 19th. I don't think I did that. What is it? Yeah, Saturday, February the 19th. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I will probably see you tomorrow morning for another one of, I think we're calling this the walk around the rivers of life. That's that parking lot that we're going to. That's the Rivers of Life Church. So it's it's very clever for me. We're literally walking around the rivers of life, and metaphorically, we are exploring the rivers of life through my philosophical rants. So anyway, I hope you guys have a lovely Saturday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, if I'm being accountable with my habit tracker, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, whatever. Anyway, bye guys.